88% of millionaires read at least 30 minutes every day, while the average person reads less than 2 minutes. I've been doing this for years now, and because of the skills I learned from reading, my income has doubled multiple times. So these are my top tiny habits that have helped me double my income, and hopefully can help you do the same. Nearly 50% of millionaires wake up 3 hours before their workday starts. Now, I'm definitely not somebody who's a big fan of having like some ginormous morning routine, stuffing your face in ice water or anything like that. However, I've been waking up at 5:30 for the past 2 years now, just so that I can have time to work on myself, to get my head in the right space, to exercise if I want to do that, to get my most important work done, to read, to do all the things that everybody else says they don't have time to do. I've transferred that into the beginning of my day. And that means I go to bed a lot earlier than most people. But if you're honest, at night, you're probably just scrolling on your phone or watching TV. So I shifted those hours into being the most productive hours in the morning. And it's actually made a big difference. The 2-1 rule. I try to spend at least twice as long creating as I do consuming. This is just a general rule that I like to follow, because most people spend about 5 hours a day on their screen, but only about 20 minutes actually creating things. And for me, creating things is when I learn the most, when I get paid the most, when I'm happiest, when I get recharged. All of that comes from the creating side. And the consuming side is mostly just a negative on my life. So I've tried replacing that as much as possible with creating. I also started using my subconscious mind. I don't actually really believe in this type of stuff, but it works. So I guess I do believe in it. I don't know what I'm saying. At night, I will think of something that I want to work on. Maybe it's something with my business, maybe it's a video idea, whatever it is. I will think about it before going to bed purposefully, or I'll think about it before getting in the car, getting in the shower, or if I have a problem, I'll just kind of purposefully try to think about it in the back of my head. I usually get the best ideas when I'm not working, because I'm almost asking my mind to solve problems for me without me actually having to think about it. If I sit there and I sit down and I'm like, all right, I'm going to fix this problem. I'm going to come up with an idea right now. I'm going to force myself that it just doesn't happen. But when I just kind of throw it in the back of my head, I'm like, I'm just going to go for a walk instead of trying to figure this out. And, maybe something will come to me. It generally comes to me. It's super, super cool. In fact, I've had probably 100 videos come to me in the car just from letting my brain think about it instead of trying to force myself to figure it out right on the spot.
Video idea, Joker telling about finances. Video idea would be the idea, maybe put some intro idea for the minimalism one.
Totally works. Being the broke friend. Now, I know most of you probably don't want to be the broke friend. It's not as fun. But I never want to be the person who is most ahead in my friend group in fitness, in relationships, in money, in anything, because that means I'm probably not learning too much. And so I have purposely gone out of my way to try to find people who are making more money than me so that I can learn from them, I can be inspired by them, and I can be shamed by them. Not really shamed, but I have a friend who was like, oh man, my income's down. I only made 80K last month. I've generally been over 100 for a couple of years per month. And I was like, dang, I need to start thinking bigger, because apparently it's possible. They're a real person. They're literally my friend. And yet I have these mental roadblocks that I don't think that's even possible. And that's why I try to surround myself with people who are way smarter than me, doing way better than me. And it opened up my eyes and has helped me earn a lot more money. Could always start an ASMR channel. Now that brings us into the 10% rule. I always try to spend around 10% of my income on learning, because I think it is personally the best investment that I can make. So every year I go to as many conferences as I can. I buy courses, I buy every book I can. Anything I can do to learn more, I am absolutely going to do. And in fact, I purposefully look to spend more. Last year, I spent between $5,000 and $10,000 going to conferences and taking these different things. And I have friends who are spending $25,000 plus per year just on knowledge, and they cannot outspend how much they're earning, because when you have a scalable business and you're an entrepreneur and you work for yourself, one idea from one of those conferences can make you more money than the entire year's worth of conferences or masterminds or coaching or whatever it is. So I'm always on the lookout to do the number one investment humanly possible, which is investing in your skill set and your brain, because as a creator, we literally think and grow rich, which is super cool. And that brings us into working to learn, not working to earn. Now, I first heard this from Rich Dad Poor Dad, and it didn't make any sense at the time until I actually did it. And again, when I was a real estate agent for 8 years, when I did construction, all the different jobs that I've done, I realize now that there are things that I learned from those that apply to what I'm doing now, even though it's totally different. So now I will purposely pick up projects that I know I'll probably not make any money, whether it's an acting job, trying to start a software business, all the different things that I am now doing. I know that even if they they are not successful and they don't make me money, I will learn something that I'll be able to use down the road. I don't know how I'll be able to use it yet, but I know I will be able to use it. And that's why I'm constantly trying new things, because that's how I gain skills that translate into something in the future. If you just work to learn things for like 5 years, you will have more valuable skills. It's a guaranteed thing. So even if you fail at your business, it literally doesn't matter, because now you have that skill. That's actually why I made my 21-day challenge for people to make their first dollar online. It's because even if people don't leave their jobs, you can learn a skill for free that will translate into something in the future. And we've already had people go from nothing to making their first dollar in just 21 days through the simple steps that are proven, that are repeatable, and you're just gaining skills, if nothing else, that can be translated into a bunch of different things. And I think sales and creating and actually setting a time commitment are incredibly valuable things. So I would challenge you, if you've ever thought about trying to make money online as any form of creator or making a digital product or doing coaching, check out the challenge. It's down below. It's completely free. You can binge it all at once, or you can do it in like 15 minutes a day over 21 days, and you should have a product in a way to actually make money. It's totally up to you how far you go with that. And I'm showing you exactly how to do all of this on Stan. If you don't know what Stan is, it is a pretty much all-in-one platform for creators. You can host your digital product, your course, your lead magnets, your coaching, send emails, do DMs, pretty much everything you need to do as a creator, all in one platform, and I'll walk you through every step of the way. So again, I'll leave a link down below. Really check it out. Using mental maintenance. Now, everybody's different, but I used to really fight myself, and if I decided that like I needed to get this done right now, I would try to get it done. And I used to like work through the burnout, just like lock myself in a room and just keep grinding. And now I've realized that I need to work with myself. I need to realize that for me, 8 a.m. to about 11 a.m. is my green zone. This is when I'm most productive, I'm most creative, I can get a lot of things done. And I know that from like 12 o'clock to 2 o'clock, I'm like, okay. And after 2 o'clock, I'm pretty much worthless. So now I block all my important things that need to be creative in the morning. I do the things that I can just like kind of mindlessly do in the afternoon, and I don't work after that. I just stop. And I'm like way more productive this way, and I'm way more fresh, and I have way more mental clarity, and I actually work less because of that. And for everybody, those zones are different. So think about, what is your green, what is your yellow, what is your red, and adjust your schedule accordingly. And then we have skills. So I am very skilled at certain things, mainly like YouTube, basic personal finance, creative stuff. I have a few skills. There's a many things that I'm not skilled at. Speaking, for instance, bookkeeping, managing stuff, organization, a lot of things I'm very, very, very bad at. And that is why I avoid all of those things, and I work on the things that I'm good at. I have a team that helps me with these videos, because like I can't organize stuff, can't sit down and edit for super long, so I have help editing. There's different aspects of this business, the bookkeeping and some back end like organization stuff that I just can't do. And I realize that I can't do that. Instead of forcing myself to try to learn it, I don't try to learn it, and I outsourced it to other people. And this has really helped me be a lot more productive, get a lot better at those skills that I am really good at, and be okay with not being average at the other things. Like I don't need to learn how to do those. I can just avoid it. And everybody's strengths are different. And just because you want to do something doesn't mean, you're able to or you should, and that's the best use of your time. So really just being honest with yourself and knowing when you suck at something and knowing when you're good at something, and just playing with that instead of working on your weaknesses is way easier. By the way, we're on the road to 1 million subscribers, and I know 67% of you are not subscribed. So if you want to help me get there, it's totally free and it's pretty fun. The 7 streams rule. Now everybody knows that thing that the average millionaire has 7 streams of income and blah, 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 but most of them make all of their money. They become millionaires by one thing, and then they diversify into other things. And that's really what I believe in, what I practice personally, and this is really up to my income, is I have one main thing that I do. It's YouTube. And then on that, I have built a lot of off streams of different income streams that come off of the main thing, but ultimately the main thing is the driver, and it's allowed the possibility for everything else. And so I like to diversify as much as possible. That's why I have like 4 different YouTube channels right now, and different businesses on the back end that don't involve my face. But all of that came from, 5 years of extreme focus on literally just one thing, this channel. And that has opened up the possibilities for everything else. So don't try to do 7 things at once. Do one thing, and then once you've mastered that and you can systematize it, that's when all the other possibilities come into play, and you can really go from like here to like doubling your income instantly, because you focused on that one thing so long. Mind movies. If you've never tried this, it's interesting, and I don't know how tangible this one is. There's a bunch of books on it and stuff, but I sit down and actually think about what my life could look like. What would I want it to be if like everything was perfect? What would my life look like? Would I be living on a beach? Would I have a farm, which I now have? How would I spend my days? What car would I drive? All of that stuff. And if you think about that and you believe it and you start to ask, how can I make this happen, instead of just assuming that it'll never happen, your brain again starts working on things and says like, okay, well, if I need a house and a car and whatever, this is going to cost $10,000 a month and I make $5,000 a month. Well, how do I make $10,000 a month? Now you're like thinking about, look, I could start this business. I could do this extra work. I could learn more valuable skills. I could cut my expenses a little bit. I could do this. And now you're opening up possibilities. Or you can say, well, I make 5 and that costs 10. I'll never have it. Boom. All right. Well, now you're just never going to have it. Guaranteed 100%. It's just not going to happen for you ever. And so while I love being content with everything that I have, I also like to look at possibilities. Other people who are just normal are doing 10 times better than me. Wouldn't that be pretty fun? What do I need to do to make that possible? Like, what skills do I need to learn? What do I need to practice? Maybe I don't have time. Should I start waking up earlier? Like, what do I need to do to make this happen? And then I'll start getting closer to it happening, as opposed to just shutting my brain off. Change jobs to something you love. I have heard both sides of this argument. Some of the people are like, don't do what you love, don't follow your dreams, don't work on your passion. And you know what? That probably works. But also what works is literally following my passion. That's what's worked for me. And I can outwork anybody because I freaking love what I do every single day. I talk about the things that I'm interested in. I am creative. I do stuff that I love. And there are honestly a lot of aspects of this that are really hard and stressful and stuff. But ultimately, I know that I'm doing something that helps people and I have a lot of fun doing it. So it's great. And I've worked jobs that I absolutely hated, and I could tell you my work ethic is so much better now because I love what I do. If there's somebody who hates what they're doing and somebody who loves what they're doing, not only can I get way more done in 8 hours because I love what I'm doing, but I can also work 12 hours and it feels like 4 hours because I just got lost in the sauce and I just want to do nothing else. So if you can do what I did, which is take 5 years to be able to build up something that you love doing, then you can have this unfair advantage where you're doing what you love every single day. So you can outwork everybody and outperform and earn more money, because it's not just a job, it's a passion, it's a purpose. Post and prosper. Now, I'm going to use social media as an example, but this can apply to any business that you want to do, any skill that you want to learn. If you consistently show up and you do it every single day for 3 years, I can pretty much guarantee that you will have success at that thing, as long as you are learning and adapting along the way. Some people continue to do the same thing over and over and over, and it fails and fails and fails, and they're like, it's just not possible. Well, they didn't adapt and grow along the way. They just kept doing the same thing. Definition of insanity. But like, I've made 4 YouTube channels now that have a video with over 100,000 views. Every channel that I've ever made has made thousands of dollars. And I believe it is because I have the 7 years of experience and the skills in order to make it successful. I believe that anybody can learn those skills and they could become successful, whether it's starting a cleaning company or making a YouTube channel. If you grind at something for 5 to 7 years, you can guarantee yourself a successful business almost, because most of them are not super complicated. If you fix people's problems at scale, you make money. That's literally all it is. But you need to be consistent and you need to keep getting better. The 3 rule. I have 3 things on my to-do list every single day that are the most important things. I have one that if I get this done, I'll feel like my day is a success if nothing else happens. And then I only try to keep 3 things on my to-do list. I plan it the night before, helps me be way more productive. So when I wake up, I know what I'm supposed to be doing. Really, really helps. I also use 12-week blocks. I take an entire year-long plan that I would normally have. I condense it into 12 weeks, and then I run that like 4 times a year, and I've doubled, tripled my productivity because of that. It's insane. If you want to start making money with a digital product, there is a link down below. You can join the challenge. It's free. I'll be part of it. I'm going along it with you guys. I've already seen a lot of success stories. Absolutely check that out, and I'll see you next week.